Are y'all enjoying the interview? I'm trying to give you something a little different. I'm trying to get more stuff out for you. Hope y'all like it. I'm doing this from a fan's perspective. I appreciate y'all for listening in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. Y'all all follow me and stuff. I'll be doing more interviews and stuff. Instagram had kicked me off and I'm just now getting back on, so I'm trying to build back up what I lost. She's back on. Hold on.
Why did
Hi, yeah.
Instagram kick you off?
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah, she
So
did.
I started a podcast, right? And
Yeah.
it's political. It's called No Lies Detected. Me and my buddy David Rain, who's an actor musician,
Mhm.
we host it, co-produce it and co-host it, and it's very political. And they actually kicked me off of Facebook, and because my accounts were connected, it took
Yes.
me everywhere. So I had to build back
Oh,
up. You know, you
wow.
haven't seen me on Facebook. I'm not going to
Oh, my
open up another
goodness.
next year. I'll wait.
Wow. So sorry to hear that. Whenever you
Yeah.
speak truth to power, they don't like it at all. I don't know whose
Oh,
side
no.
you're on.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
No.
So you're in Lucy Pearl. You're traveling around. It's all the rage. We love
Yes.
Lucy Pearl,
Oh, my God. Thank
and
you.
more so, we do love Lucy Pearl, but we're more so enthralled with Lucy Pearl because Dawn has landed on new territory. She has
Yeah.
new. It sounds good, and
I
you're with
love
the
you.
legendary Raphael Sadiq and
Exactly.
Ali. Like,
And Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Are you kidding me?
all these super groups coming together to
Yeah.
form a trio.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what it was. It was such an amazing concept. It's such an amazing coming together of all these ideas and creativity. And it wasn't just Raphael Ali and myself, it was these two other guys that I was working with prior to Lucy Pearl. And Bobby and Glenn, yeah, so Mexican guy and a white guy. And they made Lucy Pearl sound the way that it was. I mean, I have to give them more credit because they did the work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We'd come in the next day and the track would be done. Like they did that. So I have to give them their credit.
So the whole time you were in Lucy Pearl, did you hear any rumblings from the girls, the ladies, about
You
what you
know,
were doing?
well, I didn't hear it in that way, but we happened to be at rehearsal one day. We were getting ready for the tour, our very first tour. And somebody comes running in and says, "Oh my God, En Vogue is across the parking lot and they're rehearsing over there." And I immediately shut down. What? What are you saying? Oh my God. And I said, "You guys, I can't go out there." And they said, "Dawn, you have to. They know that you're over here." I'm like, "How did they know if you guys didn't tell them?"
Mm.
So they told him that I was there, and I went out into the parking lot, and I think Cindy was the first one I hugged, and then Terry and Maxine, and Maxine was like, "Dawn, you got to see this album cover. Oh my God, this is not me. You got to see this album cover." She went back inside, and she came out with the Masterpiece Theater album. She said, "Who the hell is this?" And I was like, "Matt, that is not you. If that's supposed to be, because I see Cindy and Terry, is that supposed to be you?" And she's like, "Yeah, but that's not me." So we
To be
laughed for a
honest, during
second.
that time, I thought that she had left the group when I saw that album cover. I was like,
Oh
oh,
my
these are
God. See?
women. Yeah,
Because Maxine is 4'11", Cindy is 5'6", so they stretched Maxine to be her height. Like, yeah, that was some crazy. Like, I don't even understand the record company for that one.
yeah. So, because I know Lucy Pearl was a one-off. You had a one-year
Mhm.
deal. How much touring and performing have you done in that year to promote that album?
And that entire year with Lucy Pearl,
Hmm.
right? We were everywhere, Chike. We were everywhere. We went. Oh, I remember being in Canada, and I don't know how Monica, because she had a seat where we could see her, but they kept putting the light on her as well. And I don't know how they found her, but I guess they knew, the house knew that she was there. We had done all of our songs, and then we started doing songs that we hadn't even rehearsed.
Oh wow, okay.
Let's do Desire from En Vogue. Let's just do It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings. Let's do baby, Desire. We were just doing everything. We were doing lay your head on my pillow and just relax. We weren't rehearsing. We were just kind of winging it, and it was fun.
Wow.
We started doing rap. We were doing Check the Rhyme. You know what I mean? We're not rappers, but Ali was in the group, so we were doing his songs too. Check the Rhyme, yo. Back on the Boulevard in Easter. We were doing all kinds of stuff because the audience would not let us leave. They kept screaming for more. We were like, we have done 5 encores. We have no more music, you guys. We're going home. Good night, everybody. Good night. It was that, you know. But we toured the world.
So cool.
That was amazing.
So
it was so amazing.
Okay, the end of that deal, the end of that contract, how does it end? You know it's ending. How does it end?
It ended poorly. It ended like, we agreed in Amsterdam, overseas. We agreed that we're not going to come back and do Lucy Pearl again. We had champagne. We celebrated it. We had a cake. And then I got home. And about 3 weeks to a month after I was home, back then you had the pagers that you could read and text to talk pagers. And I was reading my pager and I'm like, what the heck? Oh, we're so sorry to hear, Dawn Robinson. Are you okay? We'd love to do an interview with you. Rolling Stone magazine. What the hell? So when I got home, I called and she said, yeah, Raphael, he replaced you. There's another woman named Joy. I was like, I don't know who she is. Oh, well, she's very rude. You know, she's very rude, and she said, you know, Dawn must be a bitch. Raphael and Ali said that she's a bitch, so she must be, because they know her better than I do. I'm like, well, I wish Joy the best. You know, I wish them all the best. We had agreed that we weren't going to do Lucy Pearl again, but if that's what they wish to do, then they're doing it. And I wish them the best. I was not nasty towards her the way she was with me. Yeah, so that's how we ended fine, how we agreed to end, but then Raphael had something in mind, and he had to be talking to her before we got back from Amsterdam because she was already in there so quickly.
So do you think that the record company threw some money at him because you were such a great success the first time around and he couldn't say no to it?
I don't know, but you're not going to have success again without the right person there. It took all 3 of us to make that happen. So if you get a new girl, same thing I think that's happening with Cindy and Terry. You got somebody else in there.
And he never made any new music with Joy, right? He never made any music. He never made any new music with Joy.
No, never did.
You already, yeah.
Exactly. But even with Maxine, Cindy, and Terry, going on without me did not necessarily turn over into success. That was the first time that they never had the kind of success that they had when I was there.
They know that. But
don't
sometimes
do it then.
Some people's ego, you know, pride. You know about pride, John. You know about pride.
I know about pride, but I also know about foolishness. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And really, yeah. I know about pride, but pride doesn't always translate into the bottom line. How are we going to make money? All of us, it affected all of us. I mean, we weren't making money as it was. So let's just talk this out. Like, you guys are really doing something wrong here. It doesn't make any sense.
Can you accept that maybe Dawn Robinson, who she is in her natural state, is a threat to some other people?
I can. I see it now.
Yeah.
Chike, this is the thing. Do you think, just going back to Destiny's Child for a second, do you think Michelle and Kelly were jealous of Beyonce? If they were, they kept it quiet because they knew that paper had to be made. They got to make their coin, their purse,
I
their
think
bag.
that you have a certain dynamic set from the beginning, which Destiny's Child was. That was a dynamic set from the beginning. They knew their place. They knew that they had a role to play.
I see.
It's different. With you guys, let's go all the way back to your audition. They used your audition as one of the songs on the actual album. There was a placement set already.
Exactly.
She's a threat. Then when you started talking smart about, you know, legalities and contracts, oh, no, get her out of here.
Exactly.
And she's smart?
Yeah, but I'm only talking about contracts for all of us. I never, ever made it sound like I'm talking just for Dawn. It was never, ever that. You know what I mean? So, in other words, when I take my contract to I didn't take it to our attorney, but I took it to our accountant. And I said, what is going on? Where's the money? show me the money. What's going on? There's something wrong here. And when I did that, I'm talking, our contracts were equal to the same exact contract. So if I'm speaking up for me, I'm speaking up for all of us. You know what I mean? The conversations that Maxine and I would have all the time, we would have these powwows on the phone for hours. Okay, Max, so tomorrow we're going to call Cindy and Terry and get them on board, right? Right. Okay, cool. We'll talk tomorrow, right? Right. And the next day I talked to her and I was like, so Max, what's up? Let's call them. And she's like, well, Dawn, I called Denny last night. Oh my God, no, you didn't. Please tell me you did not do that. Yes, I called Denny because I wasn't sure. And Denny said, no, we shouldn't renegotiate. Well, of course not, because for Denny, it's not broken. For us,
Right.
it is broken. For our producers, it was fine. Everything was great. Don't call the producers. It would always be that way. So I also think that I slighted the record company as well, because when they didn't do my solo album, they did Terry's album. But when they decided not to do mine, I said, oh no, y'all got to let me go. As far as the solo album is concerned, I want my solo rights out. I want to revoke my solo rights. I'll stay in the group, I'll stay in Vogue, and I will do the album. And that's why I ended up doing the EV3 album. I'm all over it. They didn't pull my vocals off at all. They said they did, but they did not. I hear it everywhere.
I heard you. I clearly heard you. And then
Exactly,
in my mind,
Chike.
as a fan, in my mind, you know, knowing that you were not in the group anymore, I didn't know what you were doing at that point, because I don't think you were in Lucy Pearl yet. So I'm
Not
like,
yet.
well, Dawn's good. Dawn's good. She's getting that money from that En Vogue album. She may not be performing with them, but she's getting paid because she was on the record. And
Nope.
here you are
They
saying
did
no.
not. Nope. Even when I saw Babyface, my ex-husband used to write for his team. And he had a team of writers, I should say. So he wrote for like All for One and As Yet and different artists that Babyface was working on at the time. And we went to his studio is on what is that street in Cahuenga? Oh my gosh, Cahuenga in Los Angeles. And when we were driving in through the gate, Babyface was driving out, and he backed his car up, and he was like, "Hey, what's going on, Dre?" And he saw me, and he was like, "Dawn!" And we got out of the car, and we both ran around, and we hugged each other. And he was telling me and Dre, he said, "Yeah, when they told me to take your vocals off, that was the hardest thing in the world, so I didn't take them off. I kept them on there, but I pulled them way back in the cut, but I got you're on there." I was like, "I know, I hear it. I hear it." He didn't have to tell me that. I could hear it. And I think they would have been crazy to cut out, first of all, the one who sang the one member, I should say, who sang the biggest hit. And I wasn't the most verbal. I mean, I was trying not to be, but a lot of times I was the most feisty. But we all had personalities. So it wasn't that I stood out from the group, but you know, you guys she just sang the biggest hit. Like, that's not smart. Let's not get rid of her, you know?
It's so unfortunate. I mean, such a great group.
It is. It is wonderful.
So,
I'm proud of us. But I don't like the way they do business, so I'm out.
And they also, you and Max started to go out on your own, right? They tried to sue you for Funky Divas.
Maxine and I last year did Funky Divas. We got the trademark for it because we figured Funky Divas was almost as known as En Vogue, almost as popular as En Vogue. So we figured, okay, well, let's just call it something. Now, I wanted to call it something else. We tried to do Heirs to the Throne. And so Heirs for short. And we tried to do that like in 2013. Maxine came to me because Cindy and Terry were suing her. And she wanted to make an alliance with Dawn. Now she wants me back. A minute ago, you had no problem running to Roughtown and leaving me behind. But now all of a sudden you need me to be on your side. So, okay. All right. So her and I started working then, and that didn't work out either. Here we are again. And she reached out to me first, and I said no, because we were working around the time that we did the reunion with them last year. And we were going to work at that time. And then something happened with her and I was like, Max, I can't do this with you. Then I was like, you know what? Maybe we can. Maybe we can do this. Maybe I just have to look at it totally different and see if I can figure this out. So I reached out to her and I said, what if we work under Funky Divas? She may have thought that. I just said, let's work together. And she may have said, let's work under Funky Divas. I don't remember how it went. And then I said, okay, let's do it. So we bought the trademark on the name. We bought the LLC. We bought the .com. And Cindy and Terry found out about it and sent us. They had their manager call. Now, usually, if they know that they're right about something, they'll send a cease and desist immediately.
Right.
There's no conversation. It's just y'all cease and desist and back the fuck up. And this time, they were like, their manager, well, the girls do use the name every now and then, and all this other mess. And I was like, no, you guys don't use the name. You don't use the name Funky. The only time you use the name Funky Divas is when we were still together under that name. And our album was called Funky Divas. So when they introduced us, they would introduce us as the Funky Divas. En Vogue.
And Rona's not a funky diva at all. She's not.
I was going to say something really mean. No, she isn't, Chike. I won't be mean. I won't. But I'm thinking it. But I won't say it. No, she's not a funky diva. And so the fact that they were fighting for the name, I was like, how many names can you have at one point? How many names? You guys know that you already have the name En Vogue, and you fought tooth and nail to keep that. I haven't made $1 from En Vogue, probably $1, because I told you I get the royalty checks are $1.09, and yeah. So these little small checks that I get, but there's not a lot of money here, so I don't understand how you guys are fighting for this. You're being greedy. You're being fucking greedy because you know that Maxine and I are a threat out there. You know that we're a threat. That's why you're fighting for the name. You don't use the name Funky Divas. They had the nerve to send a picture of them on the RuPaul show, 2009 or something like that. Exactly. And no, because 2009 I was still in the group. So 2013, 12, something like that. But it was years ago when he introduced them as the Funky Divas En Vogue. One time. That's the proof you guys have that you use the name? That's embarrassing. Come with something better. But I was like, Maxine and I couldn't work together because, it's a long story. We had done a venue, her and I together, when I said we worked together in 2013. We did a show at a place called Yoshi's in Oakland, California. It was just Maxine and I, and I think we were heirs to the throne at that time. And there were 2 shows that were happening in Oakland. One was Juneteenth, which was across town in Richmond, California, which is where we did our audition for En Vogue.
Right.
And then the other one was at Yoshi's, like I said, in Oakland. So within a contract for a venue, when you're doing a show, there's what they call a mile radius section. In other words, you can't be within 30. You can't. In this case, it was within 40 miles of the other venue.
Okay.
So I was more than 40 miles away, and I did the show this is the thing. I signed the contract with Yoshi's, and Yoshi's knew that I was doing that show the day before. So I did the show the day before. Usually, they said that Juneteenth has 8,000 to 9,000 people, and in this case, it was 11,000 because people knew that I was coming, and they were like, "Wow!" I felt good about that. Maxine's manager tried to get her on the thank you. Maxine's manager tried to get her on the show, and they said no. We only want Dawn.
Whoa.
And I think that's why she felt slighted. She, I don't know how she got the venue to not pay me, but they didn't pay me. Yoshi's did not pay me. My ex-boyfriend came running in the room. Now, Maxine and I weren't talking. She was really sure with me. Before that, she got her makeup done at the hotel across the street from Yoshi. You could walk to Yoshi's right across the street. You could see it from Yoshi's. You could see the hotel right there. It was right there. So she was getting her makeup done, and I called her and I said, Maxine, you have to be here because we have these background singers need to go over the parts with us. I'm doing this with them by myself, but where are you? Like, come on. And she's like, well, I'm getting my makeup done. Oh, all right, fine. So she finally came over. We took some pictures with fans that were there early to do a meet and greet. And then we did the show. The show was phenomenal. It was packed. We sold out. Maxine is backstage with me after the show. We're laughing, having a good time. Yoshi's fed us. They have great food. Yoshi's fed us some great food. We're with our families. It was so packed backstage. It's a tiny venue anyway. It's only 100 150 seater, something really small, capacity wise. And so we're backstage and we're in the hallway and I'm trying to get past people. Hi guys. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get to my mom. And I'm like, thank you. Oh my God. Mom, wait a minute. Because it's so tight in the hallway. And I finally grabbed her hand and I pulled my mom through and I said, excuse me, you guys, can you let my mom through? My stepdad. And that's how many people were there. It was packed. So we're celebrating with our families. We're taking selfies. We're smiling. Me and Maxine, we have pictures together from that show to this day on my Facebook page, I think. I thought everything was fine. My ex-boyfriend comes in. Everybody leaves. My family leaves. My mom said, call me when you're done. Because she lived in town in Oakland. And I said, Ma, I'll call you from the hotel when I get to the hotel across the street. I'm waiting to get paid. The band is still there. The band is out in the venue and it's empty. They're vacuuming the floor. The people are cleaning the place up. The band is sitting there waiting to be paid. And my ex-boyfriend comes running in and Maxine was just getting ready to leave with her sister and some other people that were with her. And my ex-boyfriend comes running, Dawn, they're not going to pay you. He's from London, like I said, Wales. They're not going to pay you, Dawn. They're not paying Maxine. I was like, what? Maxine turned around because she was leaving with her family. She turned around. She said, Chris, what did you say? And he said, they're not going to pay you guys. She said, oh, my God. And she comes back in the room with me, but she's not really upset like I am.
Mm.
So we're standing around for about 30 minutes trying to figure, what do you mean? We have to talk to. So I'm finishing packing up my stuff and packing up the food to leave because there's a lot of food left. And I'm packing up the food and we go out to the venue and I'm talking to the band, me and Maxine. And I said, you guys, one of the things that you don't do is you may not get paid yourself, but you make sure your band, you make sure your band gets paid. You know that. So Maxine says, well, Dawn, I'm going to go to the hotel. No, she said, I'm going to my sister's house, I think. I'm like, Max, you're leaving? She said, and I'm like in tears. I'm crying and I'm like, you guys, I am so sorry. I don't know what happened, but we're going to get to the bottom of this. Just hold tight. So in the meantime, my boyfriend is calling the promoter.
Mm-hmm.
Yoshi's is telling us we're not responsible for this, you guys. We have no idea what happened. He's a work for hire, so we don't know what happened. We know we have a deal with him, but we don't pay you guys ourselves. He's the one who has to pay you. We're like, where is he? So in the meantime, Maxine leaves. I'm like, I'm texting her the whole time. It's about 11:30, 11:45, 12 midnight, 12:30. 1 o'clock in the morning, I tell the band, I said, you guys, you can go ahead and go home. Again, you don't cry in front of your band either. You don't let them see you sweat. So I was like, you guys, I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. I will call you first thing in the morning. I asked the people for Yoshi's. I said, what time are you guys back in the morning? What time? And I thought they were going to be there 8. They said 12. I said, okay, I'll be back here. You guys, if you want to come back and meet me, I'll make sure you get paid tomorrow. Thank God nobody showed up the next day. But I'm calling Maxine. I said, Maxine, I don't know where you're at. She's not picking up. Woo! She's not picking up. I'm texting her, Maxine, I don't know where you're at. But I just let the band go. I'm going to wait until at least 2 in the morning because that's when they close. She closes their door, but they're still cleaning up. I'm just waiting for this man to get here. I don't know what the fuck is up. I'm cursing, upset. 2 o'clock in the morning, the guys were like, okay, we have to close the doors, you guys. He's telling me and my ex-boyfriend. And we're like, okay, what time are you here again? You're here at 12. Can you come any earlier? They're like, no, we can't come until 12. I have to go to the bank and do some other stuff tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So I call Maxine. I'm at the hotel now because it's right across the street. So we drive to the hotel because we had come from someplace else earlier. We drive to the hotel. I'm here. Where are you at? Can we get together? Like, let's talk. She's not answering. She's not texting me back. I let the band go. So tomorrow, Maxine, come back tomorrow. I'm going to be here at 12 noon. I get up in the morning at about 7:40. I couldn't sleep all night, but I finally got some sleep. And when I woke up, I called her at 7:45. I looked at my phone. She hadn't said anything. I called her at 8. We went down. We got in the shower, went downstairs, ate breakfast. I charged it to the room because I thought we were going to have the money to pay for it. And so let's see. We leave. I said, let's not even check out yet because we don't have the money to pay. So let's not check out. Let's just go over to Yoshi's. So we went over there. It's 12. I'm calling Maxine. I'm here at Yoshi's. Where are you? No word.
Wow.
my other ex-boyfriend's mom comes and brings me some chocolate chip cookies because she couldn't make the show the night before. So baby, I love you. And I'm like, she said, what's wrong? I said, Mom, we didn't get paid. I'm upset. I'm sorry. I appreciate your cookies. She had a plate full of like chocolate chip Toll House, okay? I'm like, Mom, these are so good. Thank you so much, but I got to go inside because I'm, oh, baby, go do your thing. Go do what you have to do. Call me after. We waited 12 o'clock. Maxine's not there. 1 o'clock. Maxine's not there. She's not calling me. 2 o'clock. Maxine's not there. The promoter never showed up. 3 o'clock, we finally said we have to go and get on the road back to LA. We went across the street. We paid for our incidentals because that's all we really had. We didn't have a lot of money for gas money. So he had his friend send us Western Union some money so we picked that up and we got on the road. So we could pay for gas to get home. Not a word from Maxine Jones, not one word from her. So I digress. Fast forward to last year. We had this whole Funky Divas thing that we were going to do together. But there was some discrepancies in what was going on. And I said, Maxine, you know, I can't go forward with you until we deal with that Yoshi thing. And I keep telling people, if you don't deal with the stuff that goes on in your life, there might be some jealousy with a sibling. You know, Dad, you raised her and you married her mom and raised her as a child, but you didn't raise me. You gave me up. Or you walked away from me and Mom, or whatever it is that goes on in our lives as kids or family. When you don't deal with that elephant in the room, it's always there and it always stays there. And you walk around it and you're like, okay, elephant, I see you, but I'm not dealing with you. So the movie, what is it, Sunday Dinner? What was that? With Vanessa Williams and everybody comes together for dinner.
Soul Food.
Soul Food. I knew it was food, something with food. Yeah. Remember the scene in the kitchen where she'd pull up the knife?
When she snapped.
And she's going to kill. That's what happened to me. I was on the phone. We were on the phone with our manager. This was March of this year. COVID and everything. And we're on the phone with our manager. And I said, Maxine, I have a problem. Now, he's on the phone with us. Because some other stuff had happened intermittently, even while we're still working together last year for Funky Divas. So I said, Maxine, I have a problem with the fact that you got paid for the show for Yoshi's back in 2013. She said, Dawn, no, I didn't. You got that money. And she starts yelling at me. I'm like, what? She said, you got that money. You and your ex-boyfriend got that money. I said, wait. I said, so what you're telling me is that I got paid for something and I didn't pay the band and I didn't pay you? Like, so you're basically saying, you're saying that I got something that I didn't receive. You're lying.
Pause. That was the case and she really did believe that. Why wouldn't she call you back? If you had my money, I would be in front of your door. Knock, knock, knock. Where's my money?
I don't have a purse with me right now, but my mother said, if a black woman, you got your purse on your shoulder and your arms are folded, and you're waiting for that promoter to get it like I did. I waited till 2 in the morning. I waited till 1 in the morning with the band. I let them go. I waited another hour with 2 in the morning. The next day, I was at Yoshi's. I'm waiting for the promoter to get there. I'm waiting for Maxine. I get no word from her at all. I go home. Fast forward. I didn't even tell you this part. I sued the promoter, but I sued him in the wrong county, so I lost the lawsuit. But the judge said, you sued him in Orange County, and you should have sued him. You're supposed to sue in the county where the contract is first how do you put it? Wherever the contract is formed or started or initiated is where you sue the person. So in Oakland is where I should have sued him. He said, but looking at your case, you probably would have won, but you can't sue him here. So your case, I have to dismiss your case today.
Right.
And I was pissed. But again, I called Maxine before I went in. I said, Max, I'm really nervous. I don't know what's up with you. I haven't heard from you in a month. Because it took a month to get the lawsuit together. So it was a month after our show at Yoshi's. I still never heard from Maxine. Not a fucking word. So
but
when she said that to me.
I want to go back to that night at Yoshi's. Why? If you just sang your heart out, you sweated on stage, you put that makeup on, you got them heels on, why would you leave without getting paid?
Thank you.
Got paid?
You know exactly what I asked. That's exactly what I said. And Mike said, our manager was on the phone, like I said, his name is Mike. And Maxine said, Dawn, you got that money. You got paid. You and your boyfriend got that money. She kept saying husband. I was like, Maxine, you know I wasn't married to him. Stop saying husband. She said, you got that money and you got paid. And then 6 minutes later, not even, she said, I said exactly what you said. If that was the case, then why did you leave? If that was the case, how come you didn't come back the next day to make sure that this is what she should have said to the promoter. Show Dawn where she got that money from you. Show her that email. Show her the deposit slip from when she got the money and you deposited the money in her account and she got paid. Show her that right in front of me so she can see that she got paid. Show proof that Dawn got that money. That's what I would have did. If I knew that Maxine got paid something that I didn't get paid, I would have done exactly that. Where's my money? I would have made him show us exactly where Maxine got paid. And she didn't do that. So not only did she leave that night after the show, she also didn't come back the next day. And then a month later when I sued the promoter, she never even showed up. She didn't call me. Dawn, I'm so excited. I know you're nervous, but don't be nervous. Just make sure you remember to tell him this. Remember to tell him that. And we did our show and fight the good fight. Good luck to you. I never heard a word from Maxine. So that's why I tell people.
That, though, the audacity of it all. Like,
exactly.
How did you feel like she could do that to you?
Exactly. It was nasty.
That's horrible.
I don't know. Oh my God, we've got all these. Did I lock up or something?
What happened?
Oh my God, I'm looking at. This is horrible. Okay, because I didn't have all the messages weren't up, and so I thought maybe we locked up, but now I see them.
No, yeah, they're going.
Exactly.
They're writing paragraphs.
I see them now, yeah, but they were stuck for a minute. Oh my God, yeah, you guys, I'm not fucking with Cindy. Sorry, Maxine. Cindy and Terry the same way, because even though, I don't know why people see that situation with me and Maxine so much clearer than everything else that happened with En Vogue. But it's hard for me to work with anybody that treated me the way that they did. All these years, I've been forgiving. I came back. I'm like, okay, this is about making money. This is not personal. I helped build En Vogue. My thing is, well, that situation with Maxine, so how it ended was, I said to her, I had to get off the phone because I was, you could hear audibly, I was shaking. When she told me that first she said, and this was, okay. She said, Dawn, you got that money, you got paid. And then 6 minutes later, she said, well, the reason that we didn't get paid is because, and that's when our manager stopped her and he said, wait a minute, Maxine, hold on, wait a minute. You just said, Dawn, you got that money. And now you're saying the reason that you didn't get paid, that we didn't get paid. So you're saying that Dawn didn't get paid either. And she said, no, Dawn didn't get paid. Wait a minute. You just said Dawn got paid 6 minutes ago. And now you're saying the reason that we didn't get paid, so Dawn didn't get paid either, right? And she said no. So is it that Dawn got paid or did Dawn not get paid? It's got to be one or the other. You said a minute ago that Dawn got paid. Now you're saying Dawn didn't get paid. We didn't get paid, she said. You're talking out of both sides of your neck, as they say. You're saying one thing over here and you're saying another thing over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know from hosting events that my pay scale is you pay me half up front before I arrive at the venue.
That's right. That's what you do.
Now it's different.
We both got a deposit. She got her deposit. I got mine. But the balance owed. That's what I'm talking. That's why I was waiting for them to pay the band after the show.
But when do you get the balance?
She got paid. That's why she left. Black women don't walk away from their money.
They don't.
No, I'll be. Dawn, let me know.
Don't either.
Exactly. White women don't either. That's real. Yes. No, you don't. I'm going to my hotel. I'm going to my sister's house, or wherever she was leaving that night after the show. No, you sit there and you wait for that promoter, just like I did. The way she should have behaved is exact. If she didn't get paid, she should have been doing exactly what I did. You sit and wait for the promoter. You let the band go, and you still sit there and wait. The next day you come back. The next month you're suing. She should have been in court with me in Orange County. But no,
that is so
she got paid. I never heard back about that at all, except this year. That's why I say to people, take care of the stuff that bothers you, because it'll come up in the most inopportune times, and it messes everything up when you don't deal with it. That elephant under the rug will come up and stomp everybody.
So listen, because you're like my sister now. There is no going back to En Vogue unless they have a high dollar amount to be paid up front before you step in the door.
And Rona's ass has to sit down.
No, no, no. The dollar amount needs to be high. You want me to stand on stage with her? The dollar amount is higher. Let's take it $5,000 more higher.
They don't
Since
even have it. They don't even have that to pay. They don't have that to pay.
then they don't need you. Then they don't have to have you.
Then they don't need me. I hear you.
Need
Well, my thing is, they fought so hard to keep. Like I said, we had that meeting last year, just before we did the charity event for cancer. We had a meeting 2 months before that, and we all talked. And Cindy and I were going back and forth. It was just her and I. And we weren't arguing. It was just that she was trying to prove her point, why she wanted Rona to stay and be a part of the reunion. And I kept my point about why I thought she shouldn't be there. And Rona, Cindy's thing was, well, she's been with us for 13 years. I said, I would have been with you guys. If I would have not been kicked out of the group, I would have been there 13 years too. Longer. But I didn't have a choice. So
somebody asked a really good question.
Yeah.
How is it that you've been victimized? Because that's how I look at it. You've been victimized.
Wow. Yeah.
All of these people financially.
Mm-hmm.
How that you don't snap?
That I don't snap, you said? Snap?
Yeah. Yeah, go off. Lose your mind.
Because I know my worth. I know exactly what they need. When you visually see the fact that they haven't sold any records without me, it's like you go number 11 on the charts, but that still doesn't mean that you're bringing in money. You're not making millions. So I know my worth. I know what happened and how things crumbled and fell apart when I left. So why am I going to let these women take me out like that? Why am I going to let Raphael or Ali take me out like that? You guys try to replace me with how do I find the word without sounding nasty?
I want to talk about that for a minute because I heard something that was upsetting to me. About how she was trying to social media bully you. What's up with that?
Joy?
Yeah. What's up with that?
Joy. I guess somebody told her that I made a comment about that. I had the right to make the comment. It is my page. And they said something. They asked me about a reunion for Lucy Pearl. And with Rona, with Joy, Ali, Raphael, and myself. And I said, no, if we do a reunion, it's going to be the original four, the original three, Ali, Raphael, and myself. And she comes on, I was your funkier replacement or some nasty. And I was like, girl, please. You were not my replacement because as I look at it and what I hear, my vocals, Funky Diva vocals are on that album. Don't try me.
No, it only makes it a replacement if the group continued. The group did not continue. You did not make another album. That's not a replacement. That's a stand-in. It's called stand-in.
I said stand-in, and she said, no, I was your funky replacement.
Nah, that's not what that is.
I was like, okay, you tell yourself what you want to hear. But last I looked, those are my vocals. You can't take no credit for anything that I did on that record.
Have you heard any rumbling?
Now, if you record a new album and you do some shit, then maybe you can call yourself my funky replacement.
Absolutely. Have you heard any rumblings, coming back from since you're doing all these interviews, any rumblings back?
No, I was just telling my business partner that yesterday. I haven't heard a word from them, but what can they contest? Where's the lie in anything that I have said so far? I've been saying this actually before all of these interviews that are in a row, like 36 or 39 interviews that I've done. Years ago, Chike, I was saying this back in the day. I was saying this before we had social media. When I first lived in Vogue and had any interviews back then, I was saying the same thing. 2 pennies a record. Terry was dating our producer. The girls kicked me out. She did a solo album. I did a solo album. They kicked me out. They kept her and they kicked me out. I've been saying the same exact rhetoric. To me, it's rhetoric because I'm talking till I'm blue in the face. But
do you think that you're blackballed?
No, I don't think that I'm blackballed. I think that people don't like me talking. But it hasn't stopped me from doing that. As far as the record industry is concerned, maybe so. But when I did the deal with Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre, like I said, Jimmy Iovine one day we were in his office and he said, yeah, so and this is when I first signed with him. Yeah, that Sylvia Rhone and I are like brother and sister. We're born in the same day. And I was like, my whole inside, like butterflies. I was like, wow, really? And at that point, I knew, done deal, because he's going to have her back, and most likely, I will not succeed at what I'm doing. But these days, you don't need the record companies anymore.
No,
you don't need any of them motherfuckers. So nobody stops. This is how I look at it. And I told Sylvia, Sylvia called my house. Sylvia called. Do you know who I am? I'm Sylvia Roan, and I'm Sylvia. I said, Sylvia, I'm well aware that you are as powerful as you are. But what I also know is that you are not God. You didn't give me this voice to sing with,
Right.
this brain to think with. As long as I am able-bodied, I will always sing. I will always be out there doing my thing. You can't stop that. But she can't stop certain things from happening. Had I known she was friends with Jimmy Iovine, it was too late. I was already signed to him by the time I found out.
Wow.
But
And
I think I was blackballed to a certain point. Yeah, they weren't
this,
going to do my album.
yeah, this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand about the industry and when it comes to blackballing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how sometimes, and I'm talking to them out there, sometimes you have that you see who's,
Chike,
yes.
somebody said Terry looks old. Her and Cindy are shriveling at the neck. Dawn still got it. Who is that? Josh.
Wow.
Josh, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to choke you
Wow.
out. Duran, I'm going to choke y'all. Go ahead, Chike. I'm sorry.
No,
We're
I
going to
was
give the
saying
last
that
10 minutes. Can we give 10 minutes to them to ask questions in a minute?
we sure can. We sure can.
Thank you.
Um, oh, what I was saying about blackballing, what a lot of people don't sometimes with these companies do is they use your contract to hold you down. So either you owe them an obligation of product or you ride the contract out. And sometimes they shut you down immediate, so you're shut down for a period of time, whatever that contract is. So I think
Right. Well, it was a
the
year with Lucy
standard is
Pearl, so they
like,
didn't have nothing.
wow.
And its statute of limitations is up with En Vogue. That shit was old and dinosaur. In fact, an attorney told us. I brought in an attorney at a certain point with En Vogue because they wouldn't see the light. So I had Donald Passman, who wrote the book, All You Need to Know About the Music Business. You may even have it. It's an amazing book, and I brought him in to just please explain to these crazy, they're not crazy, unaware, I'm trying to find the right word to be nice, women. What'd you say?
Delusioned.
Delusioned, exactly. Delusional women that we're not going to get sued. In fact, Sylvia Roan he said, yeah. He said, Dawn is right. In fact, to let you guys go, she has to give you a parting fee or something like that. Because we were making 2 pennies a record. We were making minimum wage is more than that. You know, in third world countries, they're paying children for child labor laws, you know, paid more than that. Like,
Crazy.
are you kidding me? Sylvia Roan has to pay you guys to let you go for pain and suffering. That's kind of how he put it. And Maxine cursed him out, and I had to excuse him from the phone call.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster with these girls. People would not believe it. I'm going to put it all in my book, but I'm talking about it now. I'm just not giving all the details, but it's been a roller coaster. It's been what I don't like is that I've been held back because I didn't have the right team. I didn't have the right people around me and the right money, the wherewithal to get the album done that I needed to when I first left En Vogue.
Right.
And had I had that and not gone to the majors, because again, yeah, there is a lot of blackballing that goes on when these people don't like you.
That's crazy.
It
And
is crazy.
the fact that they tried to stifle you that way.
Yeah.
And you're only trying to help yourself. I'm moving around because my battery's going down.
No, that's okay. That's all right. But it wasn't just to help myself. It was to help En Vogue. They didn't want me to wake the other 3 up. So it's like, get this bitch out of here because she's getting ready to wake up Cindy, Terry, and Maxine. When I met with Cindy 2 years after the group, we were at a party at our choreographer's house, and she had just had her second baby. And her and her husband were there, and I was like, oh, my God, Cindy's here. I hadn't seen her in 2 years. And she and I talked. She took me to lunch like a week later. Was it a week later? Sit down. Sit, Max. My dog, I'm sorry. Sit. Sit down. And Cindy took me to lunch, and she said, my mom said, just ask her why. Why didn't the group have my back? And I asked her, I said, Cindy, why did you guys do that? Like, that's my only question. And she's like, well, Dawn, she had these 2 little bottles with her, and she's like, I think of you all the time. When I go in the bathroom, these bottles are in the bathroom, and you've been heavy on my heart, and I wanted to make amends with you. And I said, but I just want to know why. Why didn't you listen to me? Like, why did you guys kick me out? And she said, we knew you were right. And there's a couple of interviews, and my friend keeps trying to find them, where Cindy said, I wish we would have listened to Dawn.
Wow.
I wish we would have stuck together. Yeah. But she said, we knew you were right, but we were too afraid to fight the major label. Oh my God. This label is huge and oh my, you know, we can't fight the label because they're bigger than us. They have more money than us. But bitch,
That goes
they
back to
don't
what
have
you said
us.
before, though. That goes
They don't
back to
have
what you
us.
said before. But what you said before about when you presented other things to them and they said it's too much work. It's too much work.
Exactly. Well, it
You
wasn't
can't
just too
be
much
busy about
work.
your career.
It was too scary for them. They didn't want to do it because they thought they didn't have the power. A lot of times, if you don't have a, that's why they have unions at certain jobs because
Yep.
they have a union that speaks for the people. We want more wages, higher wages. We want longer breaks, you know,
Yeah.
longer lunch periods or whatever. We want days off, you know. They speak up for the people that work the hardest, and we work the hardest. And that's what I was telling them, like, Cindy, but you knew I was right. You said that first. We knew you were right, but we were too afraid to fight against the record label.
That's
And
crazy.
so a group like En Vogue, it hurts my heart. I'm like, oh my God, we were the first out. And then you got Destiny's Child coming in making all this money. I think they were worth 50,000 a piece, 50 million a piece when they left. When Beyonce left, you got Spice Girls coming out of London making that same amount of money. Like Spice Girls. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I want to, you know, fun songs. I love them. I love them. Love. I went to see their movie. I have their albums. I'm not putting them down at all, but I'm like, they knew enough to get paid. I don't know who did their deal. It might not even be true. You hear rumors all the time, but I heard they were worth millions, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate because my group, a bunch of dummies. That's what that's how it was, you know? And that is my opinion. That's how I see it. That's how it was. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Even to come back to the group and forgive them and say, okay, all of our differences aside, it's not personal. I'm not coming back to be y'all's friends. It's cool. We're coming back for the 2020th anniversary in 2010. Let's do a deal. And they signed to Rough Town. Come on. That to me right there, Chike, is the most obvious situation because how bad can Dawn be? You guys kicked her out because she was such a difficult artist. She was being difficult. She was a problem. You guys called me a problem, right? I was a difficult artist. But then you called me back for 2010. Really? How bad can I be? And then they signed to Rough Town. And wait a minute. Not only did they sign to Rough Town, they got sued by Rough Town because they did not fulfill their obligation with Rough Town. Yes. And then Cindy and Terry sued Maxine.
What?
Exactly. You didn't hear about that? That's public. Please pull that up. Yes. Google it. Google it. Yes. Because Cindy and Terry decided Dawn was right after all. We're going to sign to this other label called Pyramid Records. You can't do that and think Rough Town is just going to let you walk away. You can't walk away from Rough Town. You have an obligation to fulfill. Now, the reason that Rough Town, Renee didn't want to sue. At first, he didn't want to sue them right away. He was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. But Maxine kept going to the studio every single day to continue to record. And he was like, Maxine, okay, I got to stop you from coming in because it's going to be the Maxine album. And I signed En Vogue. So I can't allow you to come back to the studio until I get Cindy and Terry to come back and finish their parts. And Maxine, Cindy and Terry even told me, like I told you, okay, so they signed the Rough Town deal. And a month after that, remember I told you Maxine had hit me up with an email and said, Dawn, you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
This deal is crap and we probably have to sue to get out of it. About a week after that, we did a fitting. Maxine was in Virginia, so she couldn't be there. But it was Cindy and Terry. And Terry was like, Dawn, because I was there first, because I lived closer. They lived kind of far out, about 45 minutes away. And I was right there in Hollywood. So Terry said, before you leave, we want to talk to you. And I was like, I already know. And she said, what? And I said, you guys, Rough Town, you don't like the deal. She's like, how do you know that? I said, Maxine told me. Like, do you expect her not to tell me? So she said, when they were done with their fitting, I waited for them, and when they were done, she said, well, we had another deal on the table or something like that with Pyramid, and Maxine kept going to the studio, so she's really not, she's happy with everything, and we're not happy with the songs. I was like, you guys, I could have told you that. It just, some things you just want to choke people because you know that in hindsight, you're going to regret what you're doing right now.
Right.
You're going to regret this. So, ooh, yeah. It just fell apart. And then to come back again and do the reunion last year, they were just as stupid and treated me like I was an outsider. I'm like, I am not having this shit. Y'all treat, again, you have Rona's back like she's God, like she's the goddess. You know what I mean? Like she's the queen bee. And I didn't want special treatment, but I did want to be respected as one of the key members of the group. You know, I asked for someone to come in and record us and film us the whole time. And I said he won't film Cindy and Terry or Rona, but he, you know, me and Maxine were working on that Funky Divas project and we wanted it to be documented. And their manager said yes. Then the next day he called me and said, well, the girls kind of don't want him there yet because, you know, they haven't seen you guys in a while. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So what if he comes in on the last day and just films us actually on the
right.
He films the actual show. And he said, I'll get back to you. And I'm still waiting. That was last year. Maxine said it too. She asked him the same thing. You know, the day of the show, Maxine asked him again. Delube, his name is Delube. He's from South Africa. Can you know, what's going on? We want to have this guy come out and film. And he lives in Anaheim. And there's going to be a lot of traffic because it's Saturday. And he said, I'll let you know. And she's still waiting. Cindy and Terry control the whole thing. Meantime, Rona's filming and taking pictures the whole time we were there.
Wow. Wow. I can't hear you, Dawn. Dawn. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. My battery's dying. And that's what happened. Yeah. You can't be controlled because you're a founder. Exactly. 2021 is the year of Dawn. Thank you, Sean.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Their mistake mistreated you and Max. Well, Maxine mistreated me too. Don't forget, Maxine was all for kicking me out in 1997. No sound.
You have to, now we can hear you now. You're good now.
Somebody said they can't hear me.
It was before. It's good now.
She's not the OG. Hey, that's my old roommate. True. That's true. You can hear me now, though?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Thank you so much. All right, Dawn. Team Diva 2021. Yes! All right. Oh, Phonice, I love you. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, guys.
So, entertainment. What's going on with that?
What is going on with what?
Stiletto?
Yeah. Yes, I have a label, okay? I had to finally do something. Because if I wait for Cindy, it's too much work. It's too much work. It's too much work. Cindy, come on now. It is not too much work, you guys. It's what we need to do. Belviv DeVoe, Ronnie Bivens, Michael Bivens. Yeah, he started his own label, had a boy band, all that. I was just like, we could do the same. Dawn, you rose through everything. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. I did. I love you guys. Wow. So, hey, Robert, how are you? Stiletto Entertainment. That is what I'm going to do everything through. I'm managing myself through that, co-managing with someone else through that. I'm going to do a tour, a clothing line, because I said I wanted to do that a long time ago.
You also need to do an eyeshadow line for yourself.
Yes, exactly.
And you need to do a lipstick line.
Yes,
and you exactly. Do Dawn Robinson bras. You heard it from me.
Dawn Robinson bras. Come on, Chike. Oh my goodness. Yep. What if I do Diva? Because Diva is my moniker. Yeah, Diva's the moniker. Exactly.
I like that.
So I want to do Diva. I like that. I just bought the rights to Dawn Diva, let me see. Dawn Robinson Diva. Because that's what I'm known at on my social media. Yeah. So I just bought that the other day, and that was about $11. But I want the trademark for it, so I can do anything under that trademark. I can do Dawn Robinson Diva lipstick, or just Dawn Diva, or Diva just by itself, lipstick, or fragrance line. I want to do a fragrance line too. There's a lot that we didn't capitalize on. You know.
See that in a monogram, DRD, Dawn Robinson.
Yeah, Diva, exactly. Or what is it? I think I bought two of them. Diva by Dawn. That's what it
Ah,
is. Diva by
I
Dawn.
like that.
Yes,
I like
yes.
that.
Charles, my friend Charles he was like, Dawn, you got to do that one. So I'm doing a lot, Chike, and I'm
And
so
you're writing your
grateful.
book.
Again, the platforms that you guys have, I'm so proud of you, first of all, for doing your own podcast.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's everybody says they want to be an entrepreneur, but you guys actually did it, and I'm proud. Very proud of you guys. Everybody that I've done interviews with. But you gave me your platform to talk all, what, 2 hours now? 2 hours and 23 minutes? And I'm so grateful. And I love you guys for sitting. Boss up. That's right, Duran. I am.
I thank you guys for coming on and listening and
Exactly.
tuning in. And Dawn, you know I love you. I love you to pieces. And
I
I
know
thank
you do.
you for talking to me.
Thank you,
I
Chike.
want to also invite you to, I have another podcast. Like I said, it's the political one, No
Mhm.
Lies Detected. But it's not just about politics. I want you to come on and talk about industry stuff and dealing with contracts. Because
Okay.
my producer and co-host, he's an actor and he deals in the
Okay.
industry as well. So I
Right.
would love for you to come on and talk about that aspect of stuff and the nature of contracts, even in the shady business and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. Thank you so much. I sure will. I'm trying not to say as much because I have a book coming out.
Oh
So,
no, no. But I don't want you to talk about that. Wouldn't be anything about your life or anything like that. It's just necessarily just sharing light on the industry as it relates to
exactly.
like, new artists coming in and what they should look out for, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. I sure would. Thank you so
And
much,
then
Chike.
when the music comes out, you have to come on the Stephen Knight show. Then we can put you in our rotation.
What's Stevie Knight?
The Stephen Knight show. That's another show that I produce.
Really? Who's Stephen
Yeah.
Knight?
Stephen Knight is a buddy. He lives in Atlanta. He's a singer as well. He's a
Oh
musician.
my goodness. Okay. Oh, I would love to, you guys. Yes. Thank you for even asking. Love you too,
Absolutely.
Tanya. I love you so much. Tanya comes on every single day I do an interview. She's there every day.
Listen,
So is
I
O'Shawn.
must say, as a fan, these interviews have been so good and informative. And any of the other hosts that are in here, thank you for your support and thank you for coming to listen to me because I definitely would
Chike,
listen to you.
you know what it feels like, Chike? It really feels like I'm doing a reality show. It really does, because they're there to support. It does feel that way. And you saw a couple of the other journalists come in to
Yeah,
support you. You did the
yeah,
same thing, though.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
you're getting that back in return. So I
That's
appreciate you. I appreciate all the fans for coming in. I think you had some friends in here too. Oh, Sean, thank you. Phonice, thank you so much, girlie. Phonice is here every day too.
Bernice wanted me to shout her out as your number one fan. She loves you, love
Oh my God, she does. She's such a sweetheart. And Alana too. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Sydney, love you too. Sick with the 80s. I don't know your name, but thank you. You're welcome. Papillon and Fletcher. Fletcher. You got to put your name in there because I never know their name. Great job. Thank you, Kenneth.
I
Chike, you
wasn't
said
meaning to
wake
ask
up,
you,
Kenneth.
how do you stay fit? Like, what's your fitness regimen?
I don't have one. I really
Well, how
don't.
do you keep your body tight?
It's not. It's not
Whatever.
tight. Like I'm trying to. I need to get in the gym. I have a gym membership, but I haven't gone in so long.
Well, no, stay at home. Don't go to the gym. It's COVID time. Don't do that.
No, it's not COVID time.
Not yet.
They're all in there working out. Everybody's working out because you got to clear your lungs out. You got to give some space to your lungs. You got to do that.
You don't have to go to the gym with a whole bunch of people in that building. Go outside. Do stuff
I've
outside.
gone a couple of times and I was fine. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you. They may be planting it. See, planting COVID.
And
Natural
you know,
growth. Thank you guys.
well, Donnie, I'm not going to keep you. We're about to end anyway. It's about to cut off.
Yeah. Okay.
You and I are going to be in touch because you know what I want to do? I want to write the foreword to your book, and I will send you a writing sample
Oh
because I
my
can
goodness.
write the
Yes.
foreword to your
What?
book.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
I love you,
Okay.
Dawn.
I
We're
love
going to
you
talk.
too.
I'm
Okay,
going to DM
absolutely.
you. All right.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye, everybody.